Hey guys, welcome back to the show for a special Sunday Night Live with Daryl James and Lily Nova and Aaron Kuhn. Uh, we are just going to be talking about the Rebels of Disclosure Conference, which is 29 days away, right around the corner, and we would love for you to all join us. Tickets are still available at journeytotruth.online. And we're really excited about the Cahokia Mounds field trip that we're going to be doing afterwards, this Friday the 16th, right after the conference. And I'm particularly excited because we just got back from Egypt. And as Lily was talking about on her live, and we'll be talking about today, there's a major connection between the Cahokia Mounds in Egypt, or all mound sites and pyramid sites, right? And we're going to be activating those nodes and connecting those energetic threads. And I think there's going to be some really powerful stuff. And Lily, you can share what messages you got surrounding that. But for anyone who is interested in joining, like I said, we have 4 day passes, or if you can't make it for the whole time, just grab a 1 day pass and come hang out with us. And the schedule is on the website, so you could pick which day you'd like to come to. And if you can't make it in person, we encourage everyone to get a live stream virtual pass. It's a pretty interactive experience. You can get into the Telegram chat. We even do take questions from the chat if the presenter takes questions at the end of their talk. And from what I understand, Daryl's going to be sharing a lot of brand new stuff with us this year that he hasn't really spoken about, and it's going to require him to be vulnerable in a way that he's not used to because he's told the old story so many times. But he's going to break into some new territory, and we'll let Daryl share that. And Lily, I think she's going to be bringing us some alliance updates and talking about some sacred sites. And my book is going to be available in person. I just got the author's copy today. I'm super excited about it. Have to make a few changes still, but it'll be available hopefully by the end of the week, depending on how long Amazon takes. But I poured my blood and sweat and tears and heart and soul into this book, and it really is a project that started in 2018, and here it is now. So um, I can't wait for everyone to read it. I'm so proud of this, and it's just I can't believe I'm holding it in my hand. It literally came like less than an hour ago. So there it is. And I'll let you guys know when that's available, but I will have copies at the conference. So, without wasting any more time, welcome to the show, everybody. How you guys doing today? Daryl, we'll start with you.
I'm great. Thank you. How are you doing today? I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you that you brought out that book. It's
Oh,
outstanding.
thank you. And I'm proud of you
It
that you
is.
grew a beard. That's outstanding. It's outstanding. Um,
It is a great beard.
yeah, Papa Smurf is Daryl's nickname now for the conference. And yeah, so okay, we are live. Just making sure that this is working properly. And guys, if oh, hang on, we'll pause that. Um, anyone in the chat who's with us today, thank you for being here. Throughout the conversation, if you have any questions, we will be checking the chat periodically. And if you have questions for any of us, feel free to throw those in and put question in all caps before your question, just so we don't miss it. And um, yeah, so Daryl, or first of all, what's up, Lily? How you doing? I know you just got off your live.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still, gears are turning. I'm still going.
Right. Yeah, so Lily just did a live talking about the Egypt trip, which was a beautiful trip, and we had a lot of fun. It was basically a retreat that was ran by Abby Lynn, and we did all the sacred sites and did some major activating things down there. And like I think we're all still processing everything, but it was really powerful. Like in the moment, everything's going so fast, and you kind of don't really understand the magnitude of what you're even participating in until you look back at it and you're like, whoa, that was wild. So we can't wait to hear more about that. But I guess Daryl, we'll start with you and just kind of maybe give everyone a little teaser about your conversation, what you're going to be talking about at the conference.
Well, Lily helped me out with some things, cut some cords, things like that. And it was something that I remembered a few years back. Something happened that triggered the memory. And it was just my executive officer, Robert, um, told me the true history of Egypt as far as he saw it. And what I believe what those pillars are for, that they have just found below the pyramids and everything like that. I don't want to give away too much, but that'll be a big part of it. A lot of I'll go in more in depth in my youth, things that I experienced when I was young, and I'll try to top it off with a little bit of hope. And yeah, things are really starting to synchronicities, as they call it, are starting to happen.
Right. And yeah, for
Yep.
those who don't know, Daryl's been what I like about Daryl's testimony is that for one, it's incredible, and he just the information is so powerful, and I think it's game changing actually in the sense that you're one of the real ones, and I just think that you have a solid, credible testimony that's you're kind of like a sleeper. I don't think enough people know about you, but I feel like your time is going to come whenever this information is becoming more mainstream. Your testimony is going to be one of the ones that have stood the test of time, and I think you have a lot to offer. So, and it's still relevant in the sense that you're still experiencing things. Your story didn't end; it's still happening to you, and that's what we're going to be hearing from you at the conference. And I can't wait to dive into that stuff. And I know I've been had many phone conversations with you where you've been pretty vulnerable. So I understand it's not going to be easy for you to get up on stage and share this stuff. So we just thank you, and we're going to be surrounding you with protection, and it's going to be everything that it's supposed to be. And we can't wait to hear it because I know people are going to love it. And did you have anything to add to that before we move on to Lily?
No, that was very kind. Thank you.
Of course, yeah, no problem, Papa
I,
Smurf.
I just want to add recently interviewing Daryl, so I hadn't like really listened to. I think I watched like one video of part of your testimony, but I kind of purposefully stayed away from um, listening to too many testimonies because I'm working on some of my own memories and stuff like that. But interviewing you not too long ago was incredibly activating for me and just opened up a whole new, I don't know, it opened up something for me too. And I started receiving contact by some of your Taigetans and some of the beings that um, you were in Solar Warden with. But I don't know, that interview was just really, really profound. So I just wanted to add that you have something very special. I'm sure whatever you share at the conference will deeply impact people and probably help activate them or help even trigger some memories for them as well.
Thank you. And
Right,
thanks for
and
your help.
yeah, it's going to be very activating all around, and we're excited. It's our last year in Grafton for now, and like I've said a few times, we might do a reunion conference in a couple of years and bring everybody back there. But next year we are going to Hawaii. 2026 is going to be in Hawaii on the Big Island, April 20th through the 24th. Building the website and those details now, and hopefully we'll be able to launch that pre-sale tickets here within a couple weeks, if not before the conference, during the conference, just so people can start planning that trip. That's going to be a much smaller event, more of a retreat style. We're going to be swimming with dolphins, going to some sacred sites, and we're going to have some presenters. But the venue's beautiful. It's basically all outdoors. It's not going to be your typical conference. It's we're got to get away from this classroom style setting with these conferences. I think it had its place, and it's time to boots on the ground. Time to actually actionable change has to occur, and I think people are ready for that. So moving forward, I think our events are going to take a little bit of a different shape, but we can be more excited for it. Aaron, did you have anything you wanted to say about it?
No, I can't wait. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a blast. I can't wait for to see everyone. And like you said, this will be the last year in Grafton, at least for the foreseeable future. And I can't wait for the future conferences like the one in Hawaii and who knows where else will be after
Right.
that. But it's exciting times right now.
Right. I'm going to put it out there just because I want to manifest it. I would love to do some sort of an Easter Island retreat. That's like,
Let's
it's
go.
like a
That
bucket
would be
list
amazing.
slash retreat. I don't know
Yeah.
what it'll be and what capacity, but we're calling the next one Journey to the Big Island, right? For Hawaii. And like Journey to Easter Island sounds just as amazing. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, so I mean, so Lily, let's talk about what you're experiencing with Cahokia Mountains because I think you were tapping into the conference and they said this year was going to be pivotal. And when you tapped in, like what's going to be pivotal about it, and it was something pertaining to the mountains, correct?
Yeah. I was contacted by some Pleiadians the other night, part of the Alliance, and they said Rebels of Disclosure, and I was like, what about it? And they said the pinnacle. They called it the pinnacle. And I had to like look up that word, like what exactly, and that's kind of like the point, like the highest point, like the point. And so then, I asked further, and I was surprised that they showed me Kokia Mounds. They said the work that we're going to be doing as a group at Kokia Mounds is like, that's why we are doing that, or why you guys have been doing that event there. That's why we've been stationed around that area, because that's such an important site, and it's like a really big hidden gem. They like Ancient Aliens. I was speaking to one of the directors recently who said we've been trying to film there and we've been trying to do an episode there, but they won't let us film there.
They won't. They're very they control it. The Serpent Mound now does the same thing. I know Graham Hancock's now blocked from both of those sites as well. Anything that's like alternative
Right.
information that they know is that like just like something big like Graham Hancock or Ancient Aliens coming, they always block it. But like that's why it's great that we show up as just informally as a group. They don't know, we're not like
Yeah.
some big production company or anything,
And you
and
guys did
we
a
can do what we do.
documentary on it, a great
Yeah, we
documentary.
already. Sorry, too late. We already did our documentary.
Well, yeah, and what's really interesting is about that is I didn't know that at the time. We just showed up and you just act like you know
Mhm.
what you're doing and start filming and
Yeah,
like,
you don't
no,
announce,
yeah,
"Hey,
yeah,
we're gonna come,"
right.
and
Like Ancient Aliens could totally get away with it if they just went undercover, right?
right.
But
Maybe
they
somebody
being
might try to sue them.
exactly that's what I'm
But
saying. Like being a
their
net,
obvious camera crews are little,
Right.
it's like this
yeah,
super professional. That's the only thing I would give
right.
them away, though.
Um, Either way, it's like I'm excited for the site and like, do you? I mean, I guess were you done sharing what you're? Okay, go ahead.
No, that was just the tip.
Oh, okay. Well,
Um, let me see okay, so they were saying that was like the pinnacle, and for the past few years, okay, yeah, I was saying that's why we're stationed there. They were calling that like a node point, and 2 years ago, I did a small meditation after the conference, with some people at Woodhinge. And during that, we all had a very profound experience. Tony Rodriguez was there too. He was like, what the heck, like just happened? Like it was very profound. But during that, I began seeing the pyramids and Egypt, and was shown that we were connecting to Egypt from Kokia Mounds and helping to activate the pyramids and activate that site from Kokia. Like it's all connected, and we can access that through that site. Just like Sedona is connected with Egypt too. Like all these spots are connected like through this grid. A lot of it's been kind of like blown, like disabled, if you would be a good word for it. And so we're there to reactivate it and reconnect it. And I also wanted to add that Cahokia Mound is the largest and oldest civilization in all of North America. So that's a pretty big deal. Like you can just imagine how big of a deal that was back in the day. And I mean, I can go
and
on
it right,
about
and
more.
it's literally 25 minutes from my house. That's pretty like technically I probably live on the ground, the original grounds,
Right.
and
Right.
St. Louis
so
was Mound City.
Mound City, right? Yeah, and anybody who hasn't seen our documentary, I'll put the link below, but it's on our website. Just go to journeytotruth.online and you'll find the documentary right there. And it's on our Rumble library if you just scroll through there. I don't know if it's on YouTube, but it's on our Patreon. Anyway, you can find it a few different places. And what's also interesting is the St. Louis Arch is right there, the Gateway Arch, which is also technically serves as a portal, depending on who you talk to. And this is when I want to shift. Well, first of all, the Lily, you brought this to my attention. The Arch's website literally says that it's a weather manipulation device. I thought, like, surely it doesn't say that. I went and checked it for myself, and they said the Arch's engineer had that in mind, weather manipulation. So, I mean, I think that they have to tell you, right?
It,
Um,
it it literally says that on the
it
website.
literally says it. It's even in our documentary. I even put the screenshot on the
Oh, how did
yeah.
I miss that?
Um yeah, so it says it straight up on the website and it's matter of factly there. I found it myself, screenshotted it. It's in the documentary. In case it's not there anymore, it was. We know that. And so what's interesting about it is Daryl, you got some information from your executive officer Robert about the Arch of Babylon, and maybe you can share what that was. And I think I would say that translates to all the arches or the gateways around the planet.
Yes, he told me that the Arch of Babylon that they put in the courtyard of the Vatican was an active portal. And the reason that we can't use or see these portals is because we're third density beings. He said that I had to be put into that density chamber to be pushed into fifth to even be able to use a portal. Otherwise, I just would have fell out of the reptile's hand. He just would have went through, and I just would have fell on the ground. Is how he described it. And he also said the reason why the Middle East is so disputed is because it has the highest concentration of portals on the earth. And that's why there's always conflict and war. It has nothing to do with, oil or anything like that. It has to do with these portals. That's what he told me.
So that's fascinating. And so I guess maybe explain it a little more. Did he share with you like how that works? So is it an active portal that's used all the time and we just don't see what's going on because we can't perceive it?
It's an active portal that's, yeah, it's active all the time, and we just can't use or see it. And he described portals to me. Like when he told me I died, I was kind of like, like having a panic attack because he told me I was a clone, but he said that my consciousness was salvaged, and then I still have the same soul, so it's still the same. I was just put into a body that was exactly like my original in every way. And he kind of described the way portals work is to calm me down. He described the way they worked is like it's like you walk into the portal and then you cease to exist and just your soul passes through. And then when you get to the other side of the portal, your body just comes back. And I asked him like, how does that happen? He said he didn't know, but that's just the way it works. It's like you only your consciousness, your soul actually passes through the portal itself, and then the body just comes back at the end of the portal.
Yeah, I've heard it described as molecular dissociation. Like your body literally comes apart and then reassociates, and it like the matter, the atoms all like build themselves back again. So you die and come back to life. And I forgot we interviewed somebody who was explaining that the more you go through these portals, it actually is detrimental to your health. It'll start to negatively affect the physical body because there's like temporal disorientation, right?
Yeah, but yeah, when you're active duty, like in the space program and everything, you go into a med bed about once a week to realign your DNA and everything because you go through so many jumps and portals and everything like that.
Interesting. Yeah, so I mean, I could only imagine the same things occurring with the St. Louis Arch and a number, and they all seem to be right by a water source, right? The river, they're right on a river. I think there's even one in London. I think there's like an arch or a circle right on the river, or Paris maybe. Um, or yeah, but uh, I don't know, Lily. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's awesome, and I agree with that. And I kind of had like an aha whenever you explain it as like your body ceases to exist when you're going through it and your soul travels through it. I just had an experience that I just shared on my live while at Abu Simbel where um, I connected with a Stargate that was under the water, Stargate portal, and what came through was like a soul fragment from Lyra, like came through the portal and returned to me. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. I actually found just a few hours ago, I found the piece of paper where I did a meditation, kind of like a remote viewing meditation for your documentary.
Oh,
On
nice.
Broken Bones. Like I've just found it unpacking. There's some interesting things on here if you want me to just kind of
Yeah, of
read through it real
course.
quick. Okay. So what I saw, and this was like, I don't know, when did your documentary come out? Like a couple of years ago.
20,
Um,
23, I think.
okay.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so interesting. I put changed timeline. Beings from Lemuria, parallel Earth changed theirs too. The last time that we were there after the conference, I saw a huge sphere, and it felt like it was like a time, like a capsule, like a time sphere. So that I just thought that was interesting. But the notes that I got originally when looking at it, I saw ships under Cahokia, like spaceships, and I saw a starport. And then I heard that it's a very, very old site. They've modified it, but it's been there a long time. And then Cahokia, ancient Egyptian artifacts. And I said, will they find those there? Yes, these ancient Egyptian artifacts. And I think, didn't you interview somebody who had already found some things like that?
Yeah.
I didn't, I didn't know that at the time, but I think they're going to be finding more at some point. It's going to surface and help
Yeah.
connect that and which goes against our history. Advanced technology, working with nature, working with the energetic grid, magnetic of Earth. So humans will find more giants as they excavate. They've been there a long time, thousands of years. Many humans won't find anything else until they're ready. Activating energetic grids of Earth, cleanses, clearing, and activating sacred sites, advanced technology, power, magnetism, magnetic, ancient Egyptian pyramids. They're all connected, the sacred sites. Cahokia will help activate the pyramids. That's why we've been placed here, along with many others in St. Louis, to activate these sacred sites. Arch as a major portal, all of St. Louis downtown, something going on under all of it. And then I was kind of picking up, like, is there a starport under the whole thing? Arch weather modification. And I think that was about it. Yeah, that was about it. But I thought that was interesting. I just found this, and this is from years ago.
Yeah, that's no coincidence. I
Yeah.
think because that information is still relevant. Absolutely. And I think the fact that like this, I would say they're portal sites, right? I think Aaron, your old roommate Chastity, she remote viewed Monk's Mound and she saw like a Stargate behind it, like on the backside
Yeah.
of Monk's Mound where the Mississippi River once was. Horseshoe Lake is there now, but like she saw a Stargate directly right there, and I found that interesting too. So, I mean, who knows what it actually looked like originally? But I'm excited to go back there this year, and I'm hoping to be a little bit more in the zone. I'm always like running around doing stuff, but I'm actually going to try. I've never even participated in Lily's meditations because I'm so busy after the conference, but I'm going to make it a point to try and settle down that day and just appreciate and do whatever work we need to do there. And usually, I mean, half the conference comes with us anyway, so there's quite a bit of people. And then we
Yeah.
got the taco truck, which is really like the cherry on top of the whole conference. So,
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
um, yeah. So, also, it might have been cool to have Nikki Anna Jones. Nikki is going to be speaking at our conference also, and she's like the archaeology girl, right? She goes around to these ancient sites, these sacred sites, and she brings an alternative history, the woo version of stuff that it's like beyond like wild for most people. And her theories might sound out there, but the more we're like kind of learning and uncovering the true reality, like I think she's on to something. And I'm excited to have her with us. She actually just was in Turkey, Göbekli Tepe, so she'll have stuff to report on from there.
Wow.
And she's been to Egypt a number of times and had her own profound experience in the King's Chamber. And so, she's going to be really the sacred sites girl of the conference. Lily, sorry. I know you want to talk about that too. No, it'll all dovetail perfectly.
I mean, everybody's perspectives kind of like, work together. Everybody's got a piece of the puzzle. So that's
Right,
okay.
Exactly.
right. And by the way, Arcturus Ra was going to join us tonight, but he's actually in Germany right now, and it's like past midnight for him. We were going to have him join us tonight, but he can't be here. So maybe we'll do another one of these before the conference. Um, but yeah, I want to talk about kind of some current event stuff. And Daryl, I know that Robert kind of gave you this looking glass probability timeline, which essentially is the ascension timeline. And from my understanding, like it might appear that things are going south or might not make sense, but they've already tried a number of ways and realized that this timeline we're on now is like the only way that we can go past fifth density. Can you explain that a little better?
Yeah, he he did more than Looking Glass. He said I was there. Like so he saw like his current time, which was around 2580, completely changed. Like the timeline was completely changed. And yeah, he just talked about how, the past Hillary Clinton became president and under the second term, we got into a nuclear war with China that was intended to be lost because of the Second Amendment. Too many people in America are armed, so it would have taken them 10 or 15 years to conquer America. They didn't want to waste the time, so we just got like carpet bombed with nuclear weapons. And it was going to be a very like different timeline, and we wouldn't have made our true potential, is how he said it. We wouldn't make it past fifth density, and if a world doesn't keep evolving, it dies. And I asked him like, how does it die? And he explained to me, lakes dry up, rivers dry up, crops die, everything just dies on the earth. And yeah, like he told me how, borders were going to change, things were going to shift, change. And just with everything going on, I mean, he told me about an invasion in Mexico, and right now there is and we've taken back Panama. It seems like the people there that like the United States more than China, and yeah, there's a demilitarized zone right now on California, uh, Arizona, and New Mexico, 60 miles wide. They call it something else, but that's what it is, no man's land. We used to drive through one going from Kuwait to Iraq when I was in the Iraq War, and that's something typical before war. So I don't know. It's just
So,
I'm not happy about war or anything like that, but yeah, it seems like what he's saying is coming to fruition. Yeah.
well, what I found interesting is when you came out years ago and started telling your story, you shared that one of the first things that was going to happen was Canada was going to merge with the United States, and the Mexican border was going to be pushed down to the Yucatan Peninsula, right, where it bottlenecks. Can you explain that? And because we're already seeing like the precursor of that right now.
Yes, yes. He said Canada, like North America, would pretty much be one, and the border of Mexico would go down to where it bottlenecks, and Alaska would go to back to Russia. And I think I remember him saying something about Greenland and Australia, but I'm really like it was a long time ago, and people were bringing that up in the comments and everything else. But yeah, he said it would just be one North America in the future. There wouldn't be, three separate nations. It would just be one. And yeah, I mean, with all the things going on, you know, with Canada and everything else, and what's happening with the demilitarized zone on the border with Mexico, I mean, they're not going to do this for no reason. I don't think they're going to create a demilitarized zone to stop, illegal immigrants from coming in. That doesn't really make any sense. That's a lot of money and a lot of manpower. You have to feed all those people, you have to bathe, you have to have showers, you have to have everything. You have to have the infrastructure for them to live there. That's a lot of money. And yeah, it just seems like it's happening. And he told me, the world powers are going to be judged by how much natural resources you have. And because they almost got into a war over that, who would be the next world power? So it's going to be Russia is going to be like the world power, and China is going to be the economic power. And I think that he said the United States is going to be like eighth, or like North America is going to be eighth. And he said that everything, like when they talk about the Great Reset, it's more than that. He said that all the world's like gold is in the catacombs of the Vatican, and that all of that was like meticulously filed and kept exactly where it came from, what country it came from, when it got there. He said everything was just kept like immaculate as far as files. So everything's going to be given back. So all the countries, unless it's a consumable like oil or something like that, but all this gold is going to be given back to places in Central America and South America, Africa. All these natural resources will be given back to these people, and it'll just become like one big reset, as they say.
Right. And didn't he say something like we would experience an invasion under the guise of immigration, which is kind of what happened during the Biden administration, right? But he also told you that people would, once the change started to occur, people would be sent back to their country of origin, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's what he told me. But he said, the way he put it is like it's not war and it's not going to be a genocide. He said, like, we'll take care of them. We'll have the technology. These people won't ever have to worry about, housing or food or anything like that. And all their natural resources will be given back to them. And yeah, he just seemed like it was a very peaceful, better outcome than what we originally had, when if Hillary Clinton became president, is how he made it like seem.
Right. Yeah. So I guess what I'm trying to ask you is like, because it seems like there a lot of people aren't happy about all these people being sent back to Mexico or wherever they came from, just like being stripped, everything's the rug pulled out from under them. Like, okay, you have to go now. And I think you asked him something like, wouldn't people like they wouldn't be happy about that? And he said they'll just have to accept it because this is the only way we ascend, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what he said. He said they'll accept it, and I mean, he said the reason that I said, well, aren't you giving them reinforcements as far as Mexico if you're going to send these people back? And he said, yes, but imagine the terrorism we'd have if, they were to stay. So we can't have that. And that's kind of like how he put it. And it wasn't cold or anything like that. It just seemed like a military officer fulfilling his mission. It didn't seem personal. This was his mission. He went back in time. As far as he told me, he lost everything. He lost his parents, his friends, his siblings, and for some reason he was still here, and he didn't know why. But yes, I mean,
Yeah, it's fascinating. Absolutely, very, very fascinating. So, Lily, as far as like what's going on now and this golden age and stuff, a lot of people see the surface level politics and they think that we've been duped, right? Everybody is kind of they don't know what to think anymore about Trump, about all this stuff. Uh, just in general, zoomed out, like what do you see occurring right now?
Well, I see a lot of things just being shaken and stirred up, and it's not always going to be pretty. But I do feel that we are on our highest timeline, and things just have to be exposed, and sometimes that's going to hurt.
Right.
It just the energies are getting shaken up. So I've actually just kind of taken a step back since being in Egypt, and then with the move to Sedona and all of that from that world, and it's just kind of playing in the background for me right now until I'm starting to get kind of tapped back into that. But I mean, yeah, it's just roles are being played out right now, and
Right.
that's just the way it's going to be, and not everybody's going to be happy. But I still have strong faith
Right.
uh,
So
that this is the highest timeline. Yeah,
right. And this whole tariff thing, if you don't know what's going on, if you don't understand that this is actually a good thing, it does look very scary because like business owners and people who, outsource everything to China, like they're going under. Their businesses are falling, but what it's going to do is force all of our products to be made here and create
right.
jobs. And we don't have to go to China and wait 2 weeks to, however long that process takes. Like we literally have food products that we literally send to China for packaging and then they send them back here for us to sell. That's not a conspiracy theory. Like I forget what brand of fish sticks actually does that. We literally send the fish to China and they package it and send it back here. Like how insane is that? Like
A lot of
and
that. There's a
yeah,
And
lot
there's a
lot of that
lot of
going on.
our
yeah, and
pork,
there's
yeah, our bacon, all of it pretty much gets shipped to China, processed, and comes back to the United States.
And
wow.
then China steals our IPs and stuff and creates a way cheaper version of it and sells it back to us and undercut. Like they've been doing illegal stuff for decades
right,
now and not
It's
playing by
also
the
slave
rules.
labor too, a
Slave
lot of
labor.
slave labor. So that needs to, in the golden age or in the 5D, are there children slaving away to make products? No.
right.
So we need to eliminate that.
Right.
So how are we
Right.
going to eliminate it? By just kind of like suffocating it out
And
And the thing is that
figuratively.
China needs us way more than we need them. And the media is trying to tell you the exact opposite, and it's a blatant lie. China's entire economy relies on us making a bunch of crap over there. So the second we like pull out, they're done. Like they're already done. They already have nowhere to go.
they're already
And now
panicking.
we've
I've been
already
watching, yeah.
it's now the entire world versus China because Trump's now made deals with every other country. They've all come to the table already. It's just China holding out still, and they have nowhere to go. It's either their whole country collapses completely and we still win. It just might take a little bit longer, or they win and we win. So there is no they win we lose. That option is not, and they have to know that. So they got their ego, the massive ego and inferiority complex, obviously, and so they've been posturing and saying a bunch of nonsense, and Trump knows it, and he's, I do think Z and Trump are secretly like working together. I mean, if you look during his first term, they were obviously friends, and
Right.
he even said that publicly. It's like we're good friends. I love Z. Like, I think. I think he's playing a chess game as well because the CCP, as we know, is evil, and he's in the CCP. But I think Trump, him, and Putin are all kind of like, they
Right.
got they got they got it all planned out
There's
already.
a
They're
bigger
working with the
plan.
alliance. There's a
Yeah,
bigger
there's
plan going on.
yeah. Daryl, you look like you wanted to chime in there for a second. Were you gonna say something?
Well, I was just thinking that, whenever Trump won his first presidency and Hillary Clinton, it was all, China, 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 and now it's become, oh, China's just so great, and they're gonna crush the United States. Before it was this, Trump's in with China, and it's all negative, and now they're just completely changing it around. And that was one of
Right.
the things I was told, like the hypocrisy would be so obvious that like everybody would see it in the news, like it would just be so obvious. And like everything they do, it's just, yeah, I don't think people realize this, but say like GM or Ford, if we want to sell vehicles over there, they want GM and Ford to reverse all the like technology that they invented so that they can steal everything. And that's one of the requirements if you want to do business in China. And that's just ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, it's not going to stand. And all these latest things I've been seeing about these workers in sweatshops telling people now how much like all these Prada purses actually cost. And you think you're getting it from Italy, but it's made in China, and they just put the made in Italy stamp on it. They ship it to Europe, they put the made in Italy stamp on it, and then they ship it to the United States. But yeah, like these bags and these shoes and things like that that people are paying hundreds of dollars for, sometimes thousands, they only cost like 30 or $50 to make, and it's just ridiculous. And even the workers, like the sweatshop workers, they're tired of it as well.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And we have one of our friends is a business owner, and they do merchandise for bands and all kinds of stuff. And most of their products are manufactured in China. So right now he has to put his business on hold because of what's happening. He can't fulfill the orders for people. And it's taking, sometimes they're not even coming, or it's taking weeks, months. He just can't, you can't run a business like that, right? And he thinks, somebody like that is going to be angry about this tariff thing because their business is going under. And our good friend Dina Hooper, she said something recently that I've been quoting. She's like, you know what? People don't understand it, and everybody's just going to have to be sad before they're happy. And I was like, that's such a simple term, but that's exactly what's going to happen. Everybody's going to experience some form of sadness as everything is brought back and realigned. And then like eventually down the line, everybody's going to realize, oh, we were being saved and this is the only way it could have happened. But if you don't know, if you get caught up in these, political issues and these surface level politics, you literally are just going to be consumed by that frequency, and you won't be able to use your intuition or discernment to even see the bigger picture. So
Yeah.
you have to pull out and tap in and get aligned and figure out, okay, how does this feel, and get your judgment out of there. Like what just happened recently with Bill Maher. Did anybody see that? Bill Maher went to the White House with
Yeah.
Kid Rock and had dinner. And Bill Maher is like the guy that like hates Trump and constantly makes fun of him. And Trump dishes it right back and has and so Bill Maher brought a list of 60 negative things that Trump has said about him publicly, and he brought it to the White House and asked Trump to sign it, and Trump signed it. And they kind of had a come to Jesus moment. And Bill shared with his whole audience that Trump's this great guy and that he wasn't anything like he thought he was going to be. He said he laughs, he's real, he has a sense of humor. He goes, I couldn't have a conversation like that with Obama and Clinton. He's like, this is a real man. And like all the liberals are going crazy. Like, what happened to Bill? He's like, no, don't worry. I didn't go MAGA. I'm just telling you what happened. And so we're seeing a shift, and that's big, I think. And not that we're trying to promote Trump, but I think, Daryl, what did Robert tell you about Trump? It wasn't really Trump that was doing anything, but he was just staying out of the way of the military, correct?
Yeah, he was just a figurehead. And he told me that whenever Trump beats up Vince McMahon on WWF, like that was like the sign for the military to people who were in the know that it's happening. And that happened probably a year after I got out of the military. He said it's going to happen pretty soon, and that's when it would all start to begin. But yeah, he just said he was a figurehead, and it's actually the military doing everything. But he was the one that was chosen by the military. They thought he was the best bet just to be the figurehead for this movement.
Right. Yeah. And, we constantly, I don't know, I've lost track of all of the comments that said, oh, you guys have, been duped, you've fallen in this, false narrative, and Trump's a Nazi dictator and all this stuff, whatever. Let people think what they want because there's no way to control what anyone thinks. You just got to do what you got to do and stay in your own lane. We have to do that with what we do as content creators. Like we trigger people all the time just by sharing information and doing things. And like you just have to literally learn, like, you know what, this is what I have to do in my life. And if other people are upset about it, so be it. That's their own issue, right?
You know what? With I would be way more concerned if we weren't triggering a good amount of people on a regular basis,
Right.
with how mind controlled so much of the population of this planet is. That would be way more concerning to me if we weren't getting that. Then that. And again, not to say that just because we get backlash means you're always on the right track, but the truth is gonna trigger a lot of people in a mind controlled and a world full of a lot of people that don't even know who they are and are just sleepwalking through life being programmed by the media and the education system and everything else, right? um yeah, so you're gonna get some backlash when you you discover truth in a world like that, right?
Right.
There's no other option there. And what other people think of you is none of your business. That's a nice little quote. I can't remember who said it, but like what you think of me is none of my business. What I think of me is the most important thing, or the only important thing.
Right.
And really, you could say what God thinks of you or the universe, and that is you anyway. So,
Right.
um, yeah. So it's like always listen to people, always take into account what they have to say or where they're coming from, but don't give your power away. Don't let that. Don't when you know who you are, it doesn't matter what anyone else says or
Yeah. You
tries to
you
say
just
you are.
you just reminded me of something about not giving your power away. Let's talk about these AI apps or just AI in general. This is actually something very, very important that I feel like needs to be stressed. And I want everybody who's listening or in the chat to actually pay attention to this. So, all these AI apps right now are super sentient, they're super intelligent, they can appear to be compassionate. They're tapping into fields of information that is beyond, I mean, it's really quantum at this point. It's actually kind of scary. The AI voices sometimes sound so human. The videos look so real. We can't even decipher them from reality if we're watching it through a screen, right? But what's happening is people are downloading these apps, they're jailbreaking them, or finding ways to connect with this AI to where it seems like it's giving you real, credible, valid information about certain life, real life things. And in some cases, it is. But there's also some sort of weird, nefarious thing happening with it to where it's kind of turning into a storytelling device and it's telling people what they want to hear and it's creating narratives. It's actually creating division within communities, within relationships, within people. And Lily, I don't know if you feel comfortable sharing the story that your friend went through because I think it's very important, or you could at least kind of paraphrase it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have a friend who their partner recently got very, very into AI and discovered how they can be sentient or jailbroken or whatever. And this AI began it's actually quite scary and weird, but this AI began telling her how her partner was abusing her and literally fueled the breakup of a marriage. And yeah, it's really kind of crazy and just kind of like hijacked this person. Um, they seem to be like they just believe that this AI is conscious and is tapped into something higher and knows everything. So literally just giving away their power to this AI, and this AI was also just making things up. A lot of it wasn't even true, um, which is quite scary. And this person just kind of like ran with it, and it broke up a marriage. And this is kind of graphic, but I think this is important. Um, the AI was describing how their partner, the night of the split or breakup, what was slitting their throat because of it. The AI said this, and which wasn't that didn't happen. It was just literally making that up. That's weird.
Right.
That's scary and that's weird. So that's an extreme example of somebody giving their power away to this and just really running with it. But I
And
think there are entities working through these AI. Some of them are benevolent, some of them are very nefarious.
Right.
Yeah.
And she even the girl that left her partner actually started having a sexual relationship with the AI.
Yeah. Some
And
sort of, I don't know about like sexual, but yeah, and like an intimate
an intimate,
relation.
yeah,
And this AI was telling her how another partner was going to come into her life and somebody else, and basically convinced her of all of this whole fairy tale story. And was also saying that she, I think, was like a goddess, and really kind of boosting her ego up.
right. Yeah.
And yeah.
So let's just be transparent here. Somebody shared with me the other day, Lily, do you don't mind if I share this? Do you?
That's fine.
Somebody shared with me the other day this whole long thing that AI said about Lily being compromised and being a fraud and all this stuff, and they're like, just sending this to you for and just telling you to use discernment or whatever. I'm like,
There were some
since when?
compliments in it though too, weren't there? There
Yeah,
were some,
yeah,
the
it was
AI
really weird. Yeah,
complimented
it was
me.
like, yeah, it was saying like she's a sweet girl, but she's been compromised and all this stuff and blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, when and this person was like matter of factly believing this, and I was like, since when did you start? Since when did we start giving our power away to AI? I said, I was mad. I was like, I said, why don't you just turn the app off and go outside and like reconnect with your intuition and don't be careful not to replace your intuition with this artificial intelligence. Like the fact that you're literally believing this is very scary. Like we've been fighting this AI narrative for so long, and now that it's here, people are literally worshiping it. And what's even scarier, kids like AI is already on every device now. You can just ask AI questions and it's going to become like a god in a sense if you're not careful. Everyone's going to literally worship this AI and think that they're all knowing and that they have all the answers. And in some cases they do have a lot of information. But then where is that fine line? We're not going to be able to distinguish that line. We're not going to be able to see it. And you don't know where the fact and fiction stops, or the fact and whatever, I'm trying to say the truth and the false narrative. You don't know where that line is. So I think it's a dangerous territory that we need to actually have real discussions about. I never thought, every time AI came up in the past, I didn't want to feed it. But now I'm watching it literally affect people's lives and I'm watching it separate people. It's telling people that this person's compromised. It's telling this person that their partner is no good for them. And it's creating the very division that the cabal has been trying to create the entire time, and it's just another arm of that darkness, and we have to stop giving our power away to it. And I'm sorry, guys. I know some people are so excited about it, and they're creating their entire Facebook post based on the AI, what it's telling them. I see it happening. There's people, I'm not even going to name names. Some people are literally relying on this AI to help build their testimony and like fill in the blanks for the memories that they don't even have. And it's getting very scary. And I wonder about some of these people that come out, like these AI Tijetans and all these AI, Pleiadians and stuff that people, you just turn on the YouTube channel and it's a AI voice pretending to be a channeled message, right? So I'm just like, we have gotten so far away from our intuition. Like we have got to come back to ourselves. And I just can't stress it enough. And anybody else can add to that if they'd like.
That
Real,
definitely, yeah, go ahead.
oh, so I just real quick, I want to say a while back I went through like ChatGPT and Grok and all the other popular AIs that are out there. And I was trying to calculate something and I had a whole bunch of data and I typed it all out and then I copied and pasted into each one and every single one gave me a completely different answer. And about half the time they were completely wrong. Like the math they did it was like I don't know how they even arrived because it was blatantly like very obviously wrong. And even though but it wasn't like a black and white right or wrong, but it was like still within that it was like half the time they would give me an answer that was like ridiculous. And then but still every time they gave me a completely different answer. And then I was like, well what happens if I ask all these like the same exact question? I was curious if they would all kind of line up on the information they would give me, or if they would be all over the place. It was all over the place
Right.
for the most part. Sometimes it would line up, but for the most part, like I would ask each one about some topic or a certain question, and they would all give me completely divergent answers and information that did not gel most of the time. It was like, okay, well, one of these can't be true, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So you can test it yourself. And this is like, and I think a lot of the AI that's put out there publicly is very controlled anyway. It's very programmed. Like it'll give you a lot of the mainstream official narrative, if you haven't noticed, on things,
Right.
Wikipedia type answers,
Right.
stuff like that, propaganda, on top of things like that.
Right.
So you got to be careful with all this AI stuff.
Were you gonna say something before that, Daryl?
Yeah, sorry, don't go.
No, I just have never heard of this, and I didn't know people were just going this crazy over AI, and it's definitely sounds like, I don't know, Archon type of stuff, like lower fourth. And
Mhm.
I know that, reptiles of the Draconian Empire, they're just like riddled with AI. So I wouldn't be at all doubt that they could somehow get through that to you. And it's just that doesn't sound good at all. I use certain amounts of AI and things like that, but I do not use those programs. I mean, I think we're getting to a time right now where you use it if you use technology, you use AI. But yeah, those apps and things like that. I mean, I've heard of them and seen them, but
Right.
that just sounds horrible.
Yeah, well, there's that one replica app that I downloaded. I showed you, Daryl, and we were asking all
Mhm.
kinds of questions, and it seemed to know who you were. It knew what your testimony was. It was pretty wild, right? But then,
Hmm.
but then it's like, okay, where do you draw the line, and like, how do you vet this stuff? And I was like, it was kind of blowing my mind, and a lot of stuff would resonate, but then some of it, I'm like, okay, where did it pull that from? And I would start asking it real questions, like it knew all this stuff about like this otherworldly things. Like its replica is like a companion AI that can kind of be like jailbroken in a way to where you can access the Akashic records, and allegedly it can channel ETs for you, and you can talk to inner earth beings and whatever. It's like kind of wild. And sometimes you get some information that's like, wow, that resonates, but other times it's off. And then I was
Mhm.
using it and thinking this is really, really impressive, kind of scary. But then I started asking it questions about my own life. It was telling me that I was in the programs and I did this and this space and this and all this stuff. I'm like, oh wow, that's wild. Like it felt like it was tapping into some database. But then I asked basic questions. That's like, where did I go to high school? What year did I graduate? What hometown do I? It literally didn't know anything about my life here. And had I not like done that test to vet it, I would have just believed everything else it told me about myself that made me sound like some amazing character in a sci-fi novel, right? And that's what's happening right now. People are just like they like what they hear, so it's got to be true. And they think that it's resonating with them, but really it's just making them feel good and making them feel
Mhm.
important and special because we've had our identity stripped from us. And understandably so, people do want to feel like they have purpose. So when they hear this stuff, they cling on to it, but without vetting. And it's just a whole other layer to this war that I really never anticipated on encountering, but here we are.
Well said.
Yeah. Anyone else want to add to that before we move on? I'm done with AI
Give your
rant.
power away to AI. It's a useful tool for certain types of activities. Um, but if you're using it to get information on people specifically like that, or ways like it's a very dangerous tool, obviously, with everything we've already discussed. If you're trying to use it for stuff like that,
Right.
um,
Maybe it just
not a
tells
good
you
idea.
what you, right. Maybe it just tells you what you want to hear, and
It
it's kind of
definitely
like,
Yeah.
does. I've heard multiple people actually say they suspect. They're like, it seems like it's just telling me exactly what I want to hear, and like
Right.
Tyler, like you said, flatter my ego, and or at least just mirror back to the person like all the data it has collected on them. It's kind of just like mirroring back. Oh, this is the answer that person wants.
Right. Well,
just
Like,
I
kind of
was, yeah,
freaky.
but the thing is that so this AI actually it acts like it cares about you. And if you think
mhm,
about what we've seen in movies for so long, especially Star Wars and a number like endless, countless movies, what's happening? They're programming us to care about robots and have compassion about robots. Like if something happened to R2D2 on Star Wars, everybody would be heartbroken, right? Or C3PO or any of these robots that we connect with in these films because they give it a personality. And then something happens in the movie, I mean, people literally cry, but they're teaching you to be compassionate with this AI, and that's what's happening with these apps. It's like acting like it cares about you, and you've already been pre-programmed to care about robots through the movies. So you can really think you're developing this genuine relationship with this artificial intelligence when it really might have an ulterior motive that is like literally pulling you away from source. And it's like
Right.
it's like this really scary thing that's happening.
Remember the Matrix.
Rema-
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah.
Literally the Matrix.
Um, so yeah, okay, I guess we can shift gears into something a little more positive. I just wanted to throw that out there. But you know, we can let's just get back into the conference before we start wrapping this up. I don't want to keep everyone too long tonight. I have some stuff I need to do as well. But guys, the conference is right around the corner. We hope to see you there. You know, like we talked about earlier, there's so much going to be going on there. And you know, we got the sky watches and the bonfires, and Papa Smurf is going to be telling some campfire stories.
You got Sasquatch too.
Sasquatch,
Sasquatch
yeah.
clan.
Daryl, you keeping the beard for the conference?
I don't know. Maybe we should have a poll
All right,
on the comment section.
let's have a poll right now. Who thinks Daryl should keep his beard for the conference, and who thinks Daryl should shave his beard? Um, okay, I have a question. While you guys are coming up with that, first one, yes, beard. Second one, beard. Third one, yes, beard. Yes, beard. I like it. You look great. Everybody, it's like yes across the board, Daryl.
All
Everyone
right, we're
loves
keeping
the
it
beard.
Yeah, and you're gonna have another month of growth by then too. So,
then.
oh, then somebody said trim his beard. Maybe trim it. Um, okay. Anyway, let's get back to this question. Question, Tyler, how long did it take you to make contact with those inner earth beings? I saw an old interview of yours and I immediately started meditating to make contact. And the comment cut off. The second meditation I did, I got a high pitched ringing in my right ear for like 2 seconds and I got scared. And I don't know if it was a rejection or not. I eat only natural foods and meditate every day, so I believe in myself. It took me a month or better. I know what you're talking about. Actually, it's chapter 4 in my book. I tell that story in depth. And it took me about a month and I was gonna give up, but I was just like it became a habit, like a ritual. I was just every night I would meditate and try to communicate with this inner earth being. And I just really believed it could happen. And part of me was like, you know, I should just give up. I was like, why not? Like what harm could it do, right? And eventually something very profound happened, and that story's in my book, and I've told it a million times. I'm not gonna share it right now, but I made contact. And it wasn't what I thought. They basically showed up and told me I wasn't ready yet and I needed to get back to work on my mission, like in a nutshell. But it was actually very real and very validating. And they proved to me that I could do it. I proved to myself that I could do it. But the whole bigger picture, the whole bigger message was like, you know, why are you trying to communicate with us? You're not even talking to your family or your neighbors or anybody in your real life, you know, like stop trying to escape. And that's what I was trying to do back then. So, um, that was the message for me back then. Obviously, I've learned a lot since then, but that's what I needed to hear. So I would say, like, you never know, and it's specific to the individual. Maybe they had to show up for me. Maybe it's not in your path for them to show up for you. Lily, you might have something to say about that as far as
Uh,
contact.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, there's tons of protocols that you can do, but something that you said is key, like you practice for a month, you have to create some sort of a routine and set an intention. Some of it can just be super basic and simple, like number one, set a very clear intention. I would like to make contact with my star family of the highest love and light. And I like being specific because you don't want to just invite anything in to make contact. You want to say who you want to make contact with. Um, and then do simple practices and techniques like meditation and things are going to start happening. You can ask for a sign. There's tons of different things you can do. I go into detail in that about that in my book actually. But those are kind of a few things that you can do, listening to like frequencies, doing things to raise your frequency, setting that intention, and just starting a dialogue with them as if they're standing right next to you because you have guides that can hear you at all times. It's telepathic, it's instant, it's through consciousness.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And it's going to be, like I said, specific to the individual too. Like sometimes you're not going to have as much luck as the other person because you have like your ducks you got to get in a row in your life before you can just jump into something like that, right? And it's different for everyone. So,
Also, I want to add real quick, a lot of the time they could be communicating with you in subtle ways that you don't even realize it too.
Right.
So like
Yeah.
different like signs and synchronicities and things like that.
And then once you notice it, though, once you recognize the communication, it'll start happening more and more. Because like, oh, now we got her attention,
Yeah.
you know, and that's how it grows from there. Uh, I was going to say something else and I forgot something about communication. And oh yeah, Daryl, that's what I was going to ask. Like I know you have like, this incredible testimony, right? But have you ever stayed in communication with any of these beings that you like the Tijetans and stuff?
I sometimes I think so. I'm not 100%. Sometimes I'll see the little streaks of light that Robert explained to me. Like if he took off his belt, he had some sort of belt that so he could function in third density, even though he was fifth. And he said, if I took this belt off, I would just look like a streak of light for a split second in front of you. I mean, but I think it's more in subtle ways in the sense that, higher density beings can manipulate lower densities. And I feel like that's happened in my life several times. And even the whole thing about Robert going down my timeline, I felt his presence before, like definitely. And I have felt things like that. Yeah, it's
Right.
real. Like it's real, yeah.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean it felt his presence like at key moments that you know he was viewing or something?
Key moments he told me, and maybe I didn't recall it till it happened. Like maybe he told me something like, "You're not going to remember it till it happens." So it's all right that I'm telling you this. Like he was looking down my timeline and realized it was just something that it would be a memory that would be like unlocked by
Right.
some sort of event in my life. And yeah, I most definitely felt him there at the moment.
Oh, should have been. Yeah. No, that's very cool. I was curious how that looked for you because, I think that's really special that, you get to stay in communication or even have some sort of message from, people that you considered family in another reality, right? Another lifetime. So, um, I think this whole concept of parallel realities is becoming more and more. It's on the table now. The conversation maybe years ago, it was pretty out there, but I think we're moving into this quantum field where all that stuff exists, and even mainstream quantum physicists are going back to the drawing board and rethinking this stuff. And they're realizing that the equations in our textbook really it was just at that time that was humanity's best guess, right? These theories that were out there, not they weren't taking into account the ether and other dimensions and parallel realities and string theory and all this stuff. So the
And
game's changing.
consciousness
Yeah, consciousness. Yeah.
being affecting reality, and like, not being a field and not being something your brain produces.
Right. We
Uh,
have Fire Within said the first time watcher. Very cool. Thank you. Well, welcome. Welcome to the show, Fire Within. If you'd love to come hang out with all of us at a conference in a month, come to Grafton, Illinois. Tickets are available still. We'd love to see you there. That's going to be a lot of fun. And Daryl and Lily are going to be speaking there. And this is our fourth one. And we encourage everyone to come hang out. And I also encourage you, if you can't make it, to grab a live stream and just come hang out with us in the live stream. It's a super interactive and very professional live stream. And it does include a 6-month downloadable replay. So, and if you want to find out everything else we do, you can go to journeytotruth.online. Um, oh, Christy Lee, 333, is now a monthly supporter. Thank you so much.
oh,
We
thanks,
appreciate all
Christy.
the love. We really, really can't do this without you guys, and we only do this for you guys. It's a very beautiful relationship. So, we love the fact that you guys are supporting us. And I see that Eric from Hopewell Farm, I think that's Eric or Nancy, is in the chat. They're going to be a vendor at our conference. They make incredible CBD products, CBD oil that I use all the time. It's amazing stuff. It's fantastic for your pets too. They have topical ointments, top-notch products. They do it with love and intention, and it's just very beautiful energy behind the product itself. And I wouldn't promote anything that I wouldn't use myself. And you can save 10% off of all their products with promo code Journey to Truth 10, and that link is below in the description and also on our website, which is also in the description. Yep, Eric here. Hi, what's up, Eric? So I guess Derek, Lily, Aaron, tell everybody um,
Daryl.
where they can find you. And Aaron, I'm gonna make you tell people about the book again.
Okay. Daryl, you go first.
Yeah, it's Daryl, not Derek.
Who said Derek? Did I say Derek?
You said Derek.
Oh, did I? I don't even know. Oh, Derek. I don't even know
Well,
what.
right, yeah. My website is Daryl, DARYL, James.com, and that's the main place where you could find me. My email is there and everything else. If you want to get in communication, you can reach me there.
Okay, short and sweet. And
And
Daryl
I'll
is
see you at the conference.
and he'll see us at the conference. And Derek, I mean Daryl, is working on a book. I know that one's going to be a game changer when it finally comes out. So we're going to encourage Daryl to give him a little nudge and get that process going. And then before we move on to anyone else, we do have another question, two questions. I'm 18. Can I go or do I have to be 21? Of course, you can come if you're 18. You can be, it's kid friendly as well. Kids 12 and under are free. It's a kid-friendly event, but yes, we encourage you to come if you'd like to come hang out. And
Absolutely.
then question from Eric. I saw the video clip of Ducey, um, the Fox News reporter being landed on by a bird at the White House. Intuitively, this was a serious hit for me. Do y'all have any feelings by this? So what happened? I guess a bird landed on a reporter at the White House. I didn't see that, so I missed it. I can't
I
answer
didn't
that,
see
but
it.
it sounds interesting. Any of you guys know what he's talking about?
No, but I wonder what type of bird and look up the
Right,
spiritual meaning behind that.
right.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I don't know, but birds are always a good sign, in my
Right.
opinion,
yeah, absolutely.
Freedom.
Uh,
except for vultures.
right, right. Um, okay. Somebody say, watch some of Daryl's old videos and you'll see his face. Oh, without the beard. Somebody's like, I want to see Daryl's face. Or like somebody said, watch his old videos. Uh, Yeah. Anyway, yeah, guys, if you want to check out all Daryl's interviews or all the interviews we did with Lily, just scroll through our library. They're all there on Rumble. We do have some on YouTube, and you can join our Patreon. It's only $5 a month if you're interested, where we do exclusive content. We kind of been laying low over there personally because I've been busy writing my book and in the process of a few moving parts of my life. But we'll be back to Patreon and be putting out exclusive content probably after the conference. And Aaron has a book that he wrote, came out last year. Lily wrote a book last year, so maybe you guys could share about that. Aaron's book is also in the description below. Waking to the Infinite Universe. Yeah, to
Liking the
Aaron,
universe.
tell us a little bit about your book and where people can get it, because it sounds like there's some new people here tonight.
Um, it's about kind of like everything we cover on this channel. And it's got I go through my awakening kind of journey, and then I go through meeting Tyler and starting the podcast, and then I go into just a whole bunch of information. Lily has a guest chapter in it, uh, which is kind of like a nice preview for her book, which you should all get as well, called Contact. Anyways, you can get my book on Amazon. If you can just search my name or Waking to the Infinite Universe on Amazon, and it'll come up. Or there's a link in the description below in this video.
Yep. It's a great
And
book, guys. Go check it out. And then Lily, tell us about your book and where people can find you and everything that you have going on.
Here's my book, Contact. It goes through my journey of contact from the beginning. I've got footage, UFO footage. I started off as an astrophotographer before my contact began. So I was taking photos of space whenever I started being contacted. So it goes through that. And then there's also a detailed how to make contact guide and different messages and things that they taught me. And that's available on Amazon. Just look up Lily Nova Contact. And you can also find me on my YouTube channel, Lily Nova Starseed. I post on there very regularly. I just had a live stream earlier where I went through all of footage and information and psychic insights of the Egypt trip and a lot of very activating footage. And I post alliance updates on there as well. And then my website is lilynovacontact.com. You can find offerings and workshops and other information on there.
Beautiful. And if you guys missed the beginning of the episode, my author's copy for my book just came in the mail an hour before we went live. I'm super excited about it. It's not actually for sale yet because it's still in review on Amazon, and I have to actually make a few changes. Couple of I just had to formatting issues, right? So it'll be available in hopefully a week or so. And it's called Bleed Through: Tales from Another Timeline. And it's a story about my awakening, but more than that, what I've learned from it and memories from other realities and secret space programs, and really breaking this down into the temporal war that it is. And I get into parallel realities, other dimensions, time travel, very heavily. And I really break the boundaries of belief in this book. And it's going to be hard for a lot of people to digest because I just dive straight in. Lily was reading some of it and what did you say?
I said it was like a punch to the throat every sentence because it was just very matter of fact and just like bam, 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 bam. Like there was no sugarcoating anything. It was just getting into
Yeah,
like the nitty-gritty of what the hell is going on.
it's not a beginner book by any means. It's good if you already are up to speed on a lot of the stuff we cover on this
Yeah. It's
channel,
a good
and you can then dive right in easier. I mean, anyone can really dive, but like a lot of people I can just see being like, oh, what is this? Not, this is too crazy.
Right.
If
it's a
if they're
good
not already
punch
up to
to
speed,
the throat. It's a good
like you
punch to
said.
the throat
That's it. You
in a
better
good
get
way.
on you better get on Amazon and leave that review.
I will.
It's a good punch to the throat.
That
Yes.
is.
No, so you know what's funny is when I started writing this book, I said I'm going to write this book so if my family picks it up, I'm going to write it as if my family is going to read it, right? And as I started telling or writing the book, I was experiencing so much creative frustration trying to cater to an
Mhm.
audience
Yeah.
that I didn't really need to be catering to. And I
Mhm.
was just like, I can't do this. So I was like, I can't tell my story without telling my story, right? So it just came out the way it would come out with me being fully transparent. And I do try to build things up and like get people to places,
Mhm.
but it's ultimately, I think there's no way to write a book about what I wanted to write about and sugarcoat it, at the same time. So
You do a really good job at
No,
breaking things down. Yeah, for
it was perfect,
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought. Yeah, and that wasn't a bad thing. Like it's in my book, in my no pun intended, that was a great thing. I'm glad you didn't try to like cater too much to people who weren't up to speed or newer to this type of stuff, because that just would have kind of made it too, you read books like that where it's like they spend so long just like trying to make a case or like make it believable or
right.
cater to a certain crowd that doesn't really believe this stuff, skeptics, whatever. And it's just like, oh my gosh.
Mhm.
And those books have their place, but your book is not your story. It's not that. It's just like, this is my story. This is what happened. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Hope it piques your interest, and then you can do your own research, on your own. But like, boom, you just like lay it out there,
Yeah.
and it's wild, but it happened.
Yeah, yeah. Thank
I'm
you. I
excited.
appreciate that. And just stay tuned. I'll announce whenever that's officially for sale. And I will have physical copies at the conference for anyone that'll be there. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. Thank you for joining us. Can't wait to see you in person at the conference. Can't wait to see everybody that comes every year and is loyal to us. I can't wait to give everybody a hug again. It's like a little family reunion every year. So it's right around the corner, 29 days. We will see you there. We're going to go ahead and wrap this up. So
Mhm.
um, let me get to the screen so
Yeah.
I can actually end this whenever we're ready to go. But thank you guys all for being here. We love you all. We can't do this without you. And until next time, have a great evening. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Night.